Hello and welcome to another moment in time with little old me, ZNG. How are you guys doing? Hopefully everything is can be. First and foremost, I want to wish everyone a happy new year, a happy entry into the year 2023. At the time of recording, we have just begun the year in January, and I'm wishing everyone just the most pleasant year of their lives, potentially full of rest and fun, relaxation. Focus on the small things, small simple things that truly really matter in life. And I hope this is gonna be the best year ever, the best year so far for every one of us. So that out of the way, we have a new video. I have a new topic on hand that I would want to talk about, and I want to just point out the contrast in comparison with the previous video that we did on focus, which was done notably more concise, more focused, structured. I legitimately prepared a script for the last video, and I think it succeeded. I mean, it turned out pretty well. And in this video particularly, I'm taking a different approach, and it's going to be more of free talking, free form, and my personal opinions, personal views on certain things, and just spontaneous development of the topic that is at hand. So keep that in mind, and without further ado, the topic that I would like to talk about in this video, in this time around, is the topic of harmony. Harmony. We need it, we live it, we experience it every day. So as always, most of the things we talk about here on Moment in Time are like daily challenges and things that we are in constant, like seamless contact with every day and all the time. But just to make an introduction basically, and just talk about some aspects of let's say definitions per se. I'm not gonna read out the actual definitions and whatnot, but what does harmony mean? What does it feel like? What does it seem like? What effect does it have on us, on our experiences, on life in general, on society, on the universe? Basically, we're gonna be talking all about harmony today. So I've read this part up at least a little bit. So basically, harmony in physics, harmony is a form of vibrations, basically. Is a form of vibration, basically. So you can imagine a wave, a sine wave, that is basically multiple sine waves that are, I think the technical term is, they are varying in amplitudes as well as wavelengths. So it's basically the same fundamental frequency, the base fundamental frequency, but or just wavelength, but in different amplitudes, basically different shades of a color. Essentially, you could imagine it. I imagine this like maybe the actual rainbow. First, there's just a line of rainbow, but you just add colors on top and below it, and just it becomes like a pattern. Like it becomes, a combination of things, and that flow in harmony, that go the same way, function the same way, but seem a little bit differently, and together form something really beautiful. A rainbow is a great example of that, I would say. I'm not sure if it's physically an actual example of harmony, but just for visualization sake, about harmony. So where did this arise? It's not where did this topic, why do I want to emphasize and talk about this. It's not really, it's becoming more and more common, more and more upfront. It's becoming more talked about, that I feel that we are entering into a period of time that is focused around energy, specifically, in particular. I don't mean like energetic levels, the energetic crisis, and fuel reserves and things that power our electricity and factories and whatnot. I'm not talking about that aspect as much, even though it is almost the same thing. I'm talking more about the vibes, the vibrations. We probably come across like the vibes. We've talked about in previous videos as well that the people give off certain vibes, right? If you can feel a person's vibe when they enter the room, you yourself that are watching the video are in a certain vibration. You're vibrating with a certain frequency, certain energy at this very moment that you're watching this video. I, as I'm recording this, am vibrating with my own energy and frequency at the time of recording, right? And this interconnection, this complacency that we live in as a society, like people with people, and not only just interpersonal, also with people in tangent with nature itself, and just every materialistic thing next to us, everything vibrates at a certain frequency. It has its own energy in this time and space that we call life on Earth, right, as we know it. So everything has a vibe, and we are more and more protruding into the area that is like, we are becoming more, I want to say sensitive, we are becoming more aware, that's the word, becoming more aware of how different energies, vibrations affect us, and how in comparison we affect our life around us, how we can influence, the effect of influence in actual in physics, as well as actual influence from an individual onto a thing that is outside of our own self, essentially, right? So that is about why I would want to just talk about harmony a little bit more and explain it, and just feel it. Essentially, we feel harmony is essentially, when you think about it, it's a common knowledge as well these days, that our emotions essentially are forms, are specific frequencies, are specific energies. Every emotion that we feel has its own vibrational frequency, has its own energy, has its own vibe. We are vibing. So when two people meet and they vibe, right, they get along, they essentially feel the same thing, the same emotion. And what occurs when two people vibe? Harmony. Exactly. It's not the same, not necessarily the exact same energy. It is highly similar, just like people are essentially the same. We are like human beings, but every personality has its own frequency. Every notion of happiness, every one of us feels happiness on their own teensy tiny different level. So when we come together, we create harmony. And even from a physical standpoint, these energies basically, to just sum it up, combine. These energies don't necessarily overlap, don't become one wave. That would be ideal, essentially, but in doing that, two waves that are like slightly separate technically strengthen the energy, like the impact that it has. Usually, you might imagine, for example, like at a party or something, like two people, or perhaps you have your own experience from this. You come at a party, you really vibe with someone out there, and you really engage in conversation, have fun, and you become like happy or even sad. Let's go with a happy notion here, because we're talking about things that amplify and uplift, right? You start talking to this person, and you create a conversation with them. Potentially, you create harmony. You create that much of an energetic field. Your energies combine, amplify, harmonize, that it creates this energy field that potentially attracts a third person into the conversation that's overhearing this, and who was initially at the similar wavelength, similar energy, similar vibe, and it attracts even the third person. And now it's becoming a conversation with three people involved, and the energetic field is becoming potentially more and more bigger, right? And it keeps attracting more and more people who are initially on the same vibration, and becomes just like a big ripple effect, big wave. I feel like that's exactly what harmony is essentially in life, just like the law of attraction. I don't want to overuse it because it's been done. People are probably like misleading it and what's the word, demonizing it essentially, because it doesn't work. What blah blah blah. There are conspiracy theories, yada yada. But essentially, like, should I use the example of like what's it called in English, diffusion in water, like water molecules like passing through a membrane from a place of high concentration to a place from a place with low concentration to a place of high concentration, so it evens out. You know what I'm trying to say, like the what's I forgot all the terms basically in English essentially, because it's not my native language, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like, the initial core vibration attracts more and more of it, and it every time it does, it amplifies, it strengthens, it just uplifts, it becomes more and more powerful, and it just manifests a lot easier. And that is something, that is an area, an expertise, a time period that we're entering into, because we are becoming more and more aware of our own feelings, of our own emotions, of our own we are becoming aware of awareness, essentially a paradox as life itself. And in that we are strengthening, we are becoming really more in touch with ourselves and our actual strength, our impact on the world and on our lives. We have so much more potential, we have so much more influence, actual influence on our own lives, on life as a whole, on Earth. We have the same impact as, I would argue, we could technically have the same impact on weather as weather does on us. Think about that one. Every climate change, everything that is unfolding on the world is connected. Everything is connected in, let's call it the great big conscious field, or just big field of energy that we call the universe. I did write a little bit of an article on the blog Moment in Time. I will post a link down below where I talk about, like, where I mention this big field of energy that we live in, essentially. And yeah, that is that's the point I'm trying to make. We are all connected and everything has its own frequency. So that because of the lack of harmony, because of the lack of compassion, understanding, love, joyfulness, openness, things that uplift, that have a high frequency, a high energetic level, because of the lack of those things, because we, in the news and everyone, you just look out the window essentially, like gas prices are up high, inflation is everything, because of the system that we have become so accustomed to, is essentially falling apart in and of itself, right? I'm not saying that pro or con system, whatever you want to make of it, but essentially it is becoming apparent. It is apparent that the structure of order that we have become so very accustomed to these days is just not keeping up with everything that is transpiring within us and in our lives and in the greater scheme of things, essentially. And that is why, that is in part my mission here as well on Moment in Time, and in this very video, to just ever so slightly raise awareness on what is actually transpiring. And it's not, it doesn't have to be difficult. I may be making it difficult, but if you follow me up to this point, just, you have a lot of power. That is what I'm trying to say. You have influence over how you feel. You have the awareness to raise your vibrations and act out on it as well. You don't have to be, I'm not saying, like, this is like an example of toxic spirituality and positivity, is like, no, every video out there, just be more positive and just be more open to new experiences, and go out there and like be more uplifting and don't be so negative and all that shit. No, I'm not saying you have to, and absolutely, if you do any of these things because you have to, or anything of the like, it's gonna cause the opposite effect. All I'm asking is here right now, right now, basically, is just to take a deep breath along with me. I'm gonna do it right now, and just be aware where in the world you are right now. You might be sitting down, you might be listening to this video on your phone, on your commute to work potentially. You are safe, you are well, you are healthy, you are a soul in a human body with unlimited potential essentially. The body is limited for sure, we have limited energy reserves, but you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose love, understanding, any of these high frequency, high energetic things. And that is, I feel that is one of the biggest and most convoluted, confounded, more one of the most well kept, well hidden secrets, I want to say, in life. That is essentially when we act out of our hearts, when we act out of our own initial, primal, universal energy, any of these terms apply. When we act, when we do something we are genuinely passionate about, genuinely love, enjoy, and really feel, something we really vibe with it, and send it out to the world essentially, like this video, like any other form, it creates a ripple effect essentially. Think about it. Essentially, my intention here is to put the energy and love and vibe that I feel right now for my life, for myself, for all the good in life into this video, in the hopes as well. I'm just mainly doing it for myself because I really feel like expressing myself. I'm not expecting anything at all, just really having fun right now. With that, if you're watching this, I want to share this with you. I want to, if you were feeling down, I really hope you're feeling ever so slightly like uplifted. Maybe you have adjusted your lower energy frequency with mine. We harmonize right now, potentially. Harmonize can be interpreted in many ways, not gonna lie, right? Just heard that out loud. Anyway, and if you were feeling happy already and still watching this video, like, I hope this, like, if it uplifts you in any way in shape or form, I hope it does it enough so you go out and carry on this level of energy, essentially, this level of living, level of life. You can just, in that, what does that look like? Essentially, if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling uplifted and happy and joyful and any good emotion, any good feeling, just carry it out in the world. Keep doing. Just hum your favorite tune on the way out. Greet a stranger. Tell your spouses, tell your family you love them. That is all a form of harmony. That's all a form of heightening, strengthening the energy, like raising the vibrations, raising the level of harmony, understanding, and raising that on an individual level that I'm doing right now, sharing it with everyone, creating a ripple effect globally. That is the ideal. That's not happening. That's probably not going to happen because it's never absolute. We have at least two polar opposites, but essentially creating this ripple effect, this wave, can and does heal the planet, and it heals like ourselves. We heal the planet essentially heals us back. Everything has its cause and effect. Everything has its, action and reaction essentially. What you reap is what you sow. Or is it the other way around? What you sow is what you reap. I'm an idiot. You know what I'm trying to say. I got a little bit carried away. I raised my energy vibration a little bit too high and it went a little bit out of screen essentially, and I hit my hand here. But that is the ideal. That is the notion. That is my message essentially for the world. For you to watching, not necessarily for the world. This is gonna be on YouTube, and whoever watches it, whenever time, this is timeless knowledge essentially, and just want this to be out there for myself first and foremost. What do you do with it doesn't really concern me, but I hope it does something. It helps you feel better, and everything beside that, it's again just let it go and let it live out essentially. So yeah, I do want to a little just emphasize a little bit more on that. So yeah, healing ourselves. We start with that. The healing of the world and the planet and the universe itself. The universe arguably is not even broken. The universe, let's just think of it that way. We I wrote about this many times and you probably come across it, but like, we are humans in a human body with a soul and a conscious mind and a bajillion little problems. Essentially, it's complicated to live like this. Of course it is. And focusing on the lower vibrations, focusing on the bad things in life is definitely not gonna make it any better. Yes, I'm not saying there are not bad things happening. There are horrible things happening in the world, maybe even in our own lives. But that's just how we view it. We have this power. We have this, at least this much unlimited power, this part of unlimited power, to choose and decide how we react to it, how we embrace it and accept it. So, for example, I personally try to look at, I try to take every challenge, every difficulty I come across in life, every opportunity, every challenge as an opportunity, essentially. So what is this teaching me? I have been feeling like as though I was burning out for the past month or so, and essentially that was in turn life teaching me, like my circumstances, my own chosen circumstances, teaching me, dude, relax, take a breath and just sleep a little bit more or something. It's simple. It's just, and then my reaction is simple, either like no, I'm gonna sleep when I'm, when I'm passed out, I'm gonna be, or just keep on pushing through it, or I might open myself up and be like, you know what, I am a little bit tired, I actually could use a little bit more rest or like relaxation time for myself. And every single time I do that, mind-blowingly, who would have guessed it, things start to open up. I feel better. I see the world in a better way. I see harmony more and more, and it's becoming more and more apparent. I'm not necessarily even influencing like my outside world. I'm not even sharing this all the time with people on the street, like, dude, you gotta just you should rest more, or just like go have fun or something. It just raises the energetic level that we are all in, but necessarily more or less aware of, to a new level. It heals the soul level, the energetic level that we feel on, and that is an area, that is the time period, that is a period in space and time that we are entering into, and it's going to become more and more prevalent, I feel, in the field of medicine, in the field of energetic healing, because I feel humanity, like as a species, as a biological species, we are well off. We can solve essentially every illness there is out there. We can prolong our lifespans as much as we possibly can, but on a soulful level, we can live up to 100 years being bitter and just resentful and sad and lonely. I don't even know almost any people who were bitter, resentful, sad, and just depressed and whatnot, who did live up to that as long as like 100 years. Usually it's just the other way around. People are telling you like doctors and medicine keeps reaffirming its own structural pattern, just like, no, take the pills, take the medicine, do all of these things, and you're gonna keep up living 100 lives. But what's the point of living to 100 lives if you don't have fun, right? We have heard this over and over, but now it's the time when we start to live it. We know it. Every one of us has heard this before. Now it's time to put it into practice. Now it's time to take it from here a little bit outside, into a video, into a song, into a conversation with a friend, into a lovely stroll in the park, into anything that makes you happy on an individual level. It doesn't have to be what makes others happy, as long as it's not harmful to other people. We're not, definitely don't do drugs or alcohol. That only makes you seem as if though it's happy. Let me just be the first one to break it to you if you haven't heard it before. But that is the healing, the true healing that we need, and that in turn of itself is just like it fuels itself. That keeps on going. You don't have to when I'm gonna be happy, and then you think you've reached a plateau of happiness and enjoyment in life, and you reached everything. It always keeps on going, people, problems, like life and the universe is just gonna keep on changing. Things are gonna be changing, and you're gonna have to be adapting as well. So as soon as it goes up, it's certainly gonna go down as well. So life and everything essentially is a wave, is energetic, is a frequency and energy at a baseline level in a physical world. So essentially soul, energy driven into a physical body that we can exude to ourselves and into the environment and impact everything around us. Everything starts at an energetic level, and we are becoming more and more aware of that, and it's going to become more and more prevalent, and we are developing conscious, and it's subconscious means on a quantum level. The field of quantum physics is just, I feel like we essentially scratch the surface, and we're becoming more and more aware. We are becoming more and more what's the word astounded by it. No, we know, we are starting to learn more and more about it, and things are starting to add up, and it's gonna be crazy. I feel like the future is gonna be crazy, and when we realize how much energy, what kind of an impact we are able to have on ourselves, on our lives, on our freaking health, which is probably the most important aspect in life, and essentially the health of our people closest to us. Man, that seems idealistic. It's probably not going to be idealistic as that, but it's going to be mighty fine in my opinion. That's my vision and my hope and my wish for the future, and basically just have fun, essentially. That would be a great conclusion to this video, but I just want to add to the topic. Basically, that is the topic of harmony, essentially, but I would want to just relay just a little bit of a story here too as well. How I came to this, how this topic inspired me personally. Funny enough, it's music. Weird, huh? Right? Music and harmony working in tandem together, basically. When you think about it, what is music other than like a structured form of notes and tones at different energetic levels in harmony with one another, flowing just in time, essentially, and like creating a beat, creating tones, creating a rhythm, a melody that we vibe to as well. Every song out there that you listen to, that you hear, is a form of one person or a band or a group of people, band's energy. They put their heightened harmony, they put their vibe into a form of creation, a craft that they share with the world. Every video on YouTube essentially has its own vibration, as well as any of these things we do. Essentially, every craft, everything we share is a form of our, the energy we give off. And it's been music is basically the key to most of our problems, I want to say. I've been listening to music a lot these days, and it reminded me how in tune, how much it means to me, and how very much it helps me process certain emotions. For example, if I'm feeling really sad and really bitter and resentful, like I mentioned before, I potentially may look up and put on a song that resonates with those with that energetic level, and in doing so, my vibration, my emotions, and the song, the emotions that the artist put in the song, essentially harmonize, amplifying or just like neutralizing the effect of the negative vibrations, and it just neutralizes and it makes way for new, more positive, higher energy frequencies. Think about it. Like, I'm sure you have a song, you probably have many more just songs that are personal to you, that mean a lot to you, just in any way, shape, or form. Try to ask yourself how you feel right now and what song from your catalog would fit that vibration, and put it on and see how you feel thereafter. I have great faith that you're going to be feeling even better than you were, or even worse potentially. If you're feeling sad, put on a sad song. It's going to make you feel even sadder. You're most likely you are open, you're allowed to cry out on yourself, like for yourself, let out the built up tension because of the negative or just lower energy. Let it pass through, let it out, and you're most likely thereafter gonna be like back at the baseline vibration, back at the baseline awesomeness that is in every one of us and every one of you guys out there, and you are amazing. Don't ever forget that everyone is amazing. Everyone's a special snowflake, and that is cool the way, because we're building a great big snowman outside. That went on a tangent. Basically, the song, one of the songs that inspired me to talk about harmony and made me realize what kind of a freaking impact music has on our daily lives, and how much we ought to cherish it more, and how much we need more of it, is from the infamous band Imagine Dragons. The song Symphony, for example, it talks about specifically everything we just talked in 30 minutes here in 2 minutes essentially. Spread the love, do what you can to raise vibrations, have fun, play an instrument, go tell someone you love them, go tell yourself you love yourself essentially, do something that makes you happy. All these things. That song, and a song from the infamous as well heavy metal band Metallica that they just recently released, Lux Eterna, the lyrics to that song in particular, that they were meant from the words of the singer himself, the author himself. He said that the song was initially meant as an empowerment, just like something we can all shout out together when we're out on the concert, and we can have fun time, and just like it just rolls off the tongue. It was essentially meant as an easy song, but the way I interpreted it, the way when I first heard it and when I first realized the lyrics is, to me it felt like they talk about how music brings everyone together essentially, what kind of power music has, and what kind of trials and tribulations we can overcome with the help of music, how connected we truly are when we share like our love and passion for the music, how connected, basically, how wholesome, how energetic, how everything just becomes harmony when it's amplified by music. So that is essentially my solution here. If you're feeling down, if you're facing any troubles and tribulations, anything, if you're feeling like your life is falling apart and you're like, you don't have a place on this earth essentially, I don't know, I would say put your like phone on shuffle, like the music, or like if you're a provider of music of choice, put just a random YouTube video song on, just like the beats, and see how it makes you feel. Find a song that resonates with you, keep scrolling as long as until a song stops you and stops you in the tracks, and be like, okay, this is amazing, or like, wow, this is different. Try to listen to music and in tandem reflect and become aware of how and what you feel, and just that's about it. That's all we can do. Listen to music and have a great old time, educate ourselves, become open, and raise our vibrations through all of these means. And that, my friends, is a topic of harmony. Thank you very much for watching. This has been probably the most fun video I've made so far. I hope I certainly have raised my own vibration. I hope I did help you raise your own. Hopefully I have enabled something good to happen, something to ease your burden ever so slightly, and I hope you did enjoy listening to me ramble on about random topics of life and experiencing. And if you did, I would appreciate if you click the like button, comment your experiences, for heaven's sake. Like, I've talked so much, I feel like this is a topic that's going to be relevant forever, and if you have any story to share, like it doesn't have to be like personal, it can be like from daily life, just let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it, as well as like click the subscribe button. I don't know if you want to keep hearing more of this. I will probably have more and more videos, more and more topics that we can talk about on hand, and I certainly hope they're going to be as uplifting and inspiring and joyful and joyful and random as this one. Yeah, that is about it. Check out all the social media. I do appreciate if anyone who does that, and yeah, my wishes to you, once again, Happy New Year, the best possible year. Hopefully you're going to be listening to freaking awesome music throughout the whole entire year, and hopefully it's going to be as heightened, as harmonious, as potentially as humanly possible, and we're going to be creating more and more harmony throughout the course of the year together. This has been ZG. I wish you a pleasant rest of your day wherever it might be around the world. Thank you one more time for watching. Love you. I'm proud of you, everyone who who just keeps getting up every day in the morning and keep doing what they do. And just I'm proud of everyone for every moment of happiness that they experience. That means you guys. Wishing the best wishes to everyone involved, and I hope to see you in another moment in time.